Okay, so today's trading, this is Friday, is very interesting. We had quite the recovery yesterday. It kind of leveled off, and in the early morning hours, it started to make a drop. And so kind of expected this to happen when it hit the resistance levels here. So just kind of interesting to watch and see how far it drops. It could drop a long ways, it could drop a little ways, it could hit this and act as a support and then bounce off of that. At the moment, it looks like it's leveling off and it's making a little shelf like it did up here. And sometimes that shelf turns into a recovery. Sometimes it's just a little breather and then it drops some more. The MACD definitely looks like it's about ready to turn up here, but that's a very short-term chart. And we're not really seeing that quite yet on the longer term charts. This is the 4-hour chart here, and this is the 1-hour chart. So according to the 4-hour chart, it's just now beginning a huge drop. But we have to be careful, as always. Okay, so it, just kind of watching it so far. Okay, this was a decisive candle here. It broke through the lows, and at this point, I decided, actually, before it dropped, I didn't catch that trade, but I did get into a short. There must have been something there that showed me that it was ready to drop. So I got into a short, and it dropped a little ways, quite a ways actually, and then I put an exit order in here to get out, raised it up, and got out at $150 profit. Okay, so now I'm really concerned about the MACD on the short term. It's just starting to cross a little bit, and I do think probably it will head up. So, I mean, this tiny little movement right here was enough to make me $150. This is all stretched out more than I normally have it. I put in an alert here at the what might act as a support here. And I put in another alert down there on the longer term chart that might act as a support. So those are off the chart here. Those are a long ways down there. Okay, just kind of waiting for it to go up and thinking it probably hit this and then I'll get into another short. It's kind of my plan. And I was proud of myself. I waited and I didn't get right into another trade. So all right, when we first saw this doji here, and we can start to see a loss of momentum on the MACD, went ahead and placed my exit order, not my exit order, my entry order to go short here, and then I placed a stop order just to make sure, in case I was wrong, that it wouldn't do bad things. And you can definitely see on the 15-minute chart, as well as if you look really close, you can see a tiny little green thing on the 30-minute chart as well, that there is a potential for it to go up here. That's a pretty big candle, really, that might be showing some recovery. So it's a little bit iffy. Haven't lost any money yet. Okay, there's a nice big drop. That's good. And then it kind of went back up again a little bit. I put in exit order, and actually I have a linked order this time because they're going to be so close together that I don't want to get both of them executed that quickly. And we're about, 17 minutes away from the opening bell. So that's actually coming up pretty quickly. All right, so I'm hoping it will drop down at least to this point. And unfortunately, it just had too much bullish momentum and it went up and I got stopped out. So I lost a little over $50 on that second trade. And decided that because it broke through that, and now we're seeing 3 green candles on the 15-minute chart, that perhaps the bulls are winning. So I'd like to be in a long at this point. Forget the short. And the MACD is still going up. It's not like a great time to get in, but it's not too bad either. I'm not seeing a loss of momentum quite yet. Okay, so I'm in a long, and I've got a bracketed order here. Got my linked exit orders. I've got my stop in to protect it from dropping, and I've got a hopeful exit order up here. But the stop got triggered, and so I made a minimal amount on that trade and got out. Okay, so then I decided on that last screen there that I was going to do a short. And I think mostly I was looking at the MACD here. And so I got into a short, and I have a stop order in, really tight stop order, and I'm hoping it will drop. Kind of squeezed my orders in together and actually got stopped out at 2 ticks above where I got in. So, looking back on it, I'm not terribly surprised, because I do think we're seeing an upward momentum now, and I'm kind of surprised I did a short there. So it's just as well that I had my stop order in to protect that. Okay, so the MACD again is enticing me to do a short. So I placed an order, and it's moving fast enough now. It's within the last 5 minutes before the opening bell. It's moving fast enough that I actually put my order in before, so it went up higher, and that usually doesn't happen. But anyway, okay, so it dropped, and it's looking good. All right, and now I'm out. And so I made good on that 5th trade. Okay, so now we're kind of sitting at a support level here. And sure enough, it did bounce off of that, so that's interesting. Kind of missed all of that movement, unfortunately. And it's 15 seconds after opening bell now. Okay, and it kind of broke through that resistance level right through here, and we can see these two SMAs are showing a golden cross turning up. We're seeing on the main charts quite a bit of upward momentum there, lots of green candles. So I put an entry order in to get into a long position down here, and it's looking good. Put my exit order in up here, and because I'm now trading with what I would consider the trend, I'm not putting in a stop order. Okay, so this order looks like it's about to be filled. Very good. And I decided at this point to do a short. And again, looking back on it, the only evidence that I would be good in a short right now is the very short-term MACD. So we'll see how this one goes. It didn't get taken for quite a while, and unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to get filled just above the support level here. All right, and it got filled, and it's not looking real good there. Sandwiched the order pretty tight there, and looks like I'm going to get stopped out at a very small loss. Okay, then I decided, nope, I just want to be in a long. This is just finally, I'm already seeing that, but I finally acted on it. So I got into a long position, and I placed my exit order in way up here where I thought it might go, and it went way up, and I sandwiched the order because it started to hesitate, and I was worried that I would lose a bunch of that profit that I had made in that trade. Okay, so then I think I got stopped out on that one. Still made a really good profit. And I'm at 587. It's only 9:41. I've made 8 trades, which is a few more than I normally do. I thought about stopping at this point. I really did. And I could have, but when it dropped down here again, and the MACD is looking like it might drop, I decided to play one more trade. And you can see it's hit the resistance level. It's possible it will be dropping down before it goes up again. So I did a short, hoping for a small sort of trade. I don't think this is a bad place to go. It's kind of iffy. All right, I missed out on that one. It didn't quite take, and so I'm bringing that order back up, and now I've got a reverse order actually at a small loss on that trade that I made. So this is not a good position to be in. And finally, I just decided that I needed to get out. So I didn't know how far it was going to drop. I didn't know if it would catch it again. So I canceled those orders, and I just decided to get out and get into a long instead. Again, thinking long position, it's definitely going up, and there's a lot of bulls out there that are pushing it up. I think we've got some more upward momentum to go. However, it is at a resistance level right here. So it's a very iffy trade that I made, and I let it ride all the way down through here, almost lost all the profits I'd made, which was not a very good thing to do. Not quite all the profits. I was never in the red, but still, it's probably not the best of trades. And I'm waiting for it to break through that resistance, but it hasn't yet. Okay, now it has. Now this is great. And I went back over here and I put in an alert where the gold SMA was on the 15-minute chart. That's this one here. And I thought probably it would get up to that point. It almost did. And then it hesitated. And I went ahead and got out before it dropped too far. So I made back on the 10th trade. I made back most of the profit that I had lost. You can see my trades here. And I had 6 of the trades were positive. I would say all of the trades were good though, because none of them were huge big losses, and I put in stops where I felt like it was needed, ended up making a good profit, and didn't trade past 10. So I had a successful trading day, I would say.